Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Shraz.
My name's Rita.
And this is Almost There?
Question mark? And we also have a special guest who's going to continue to be with us. Her name is Mikey.
Mikey. What about this one? We should name this one too because this one has eyes.
Shraz has a pickle.
I have a pickle.
Let's not confuse it with anything else that you may think it is.
Facts.
It is a pickle.
It's not that. It's from the dollar store. And last time, so we're trying different things for me because I need something to keep my hands occupied. And the ball, we realized last time, was just, I was throwing it, and I can see that being distracting. So we have this little lady, and she's gonna help me through. But I gotta stop playing around with her that much because we realized she's a loud one.
I'm also realizing, as you see it, on the screen,
Yeah.
she looks a little dirty.
You know they have a turdy of this, so they have a banana, which I thought people would think was too much, too in your face. And then they had a turdy, and then they had my pickle. So what do we want to call him? Do we want to call him Mike and Mikey? This is Mike and this is Mikey.
Why don't we flip that? Mike, because it's a microphone.
But we said it's a her.
Her. Isn't she a her too?
So we can call them Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Mike and Mikey.
Okay, Mike and Mikey.
So don't
Our
be
special
alarmed.
guests.
Yeah, don't be alarmed if it just pops up randomly or my hands are acting weird. It's because of Mike.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we need to change. We need to change it from Mike, please, because he can't be a he.
Oh.
Because I feel like we were gonna take that really wrong.
Pickly.
No, pickly is too wordy.
Picky.
Picky. Okay, picky.
Picky and Mikey.
Cute. All right. Well,
now that we went over all of that, we're actually done with the podcast. So
see you later. Let's tell them why we're here today.
So, as you guys may have watched or heard about, there's an amazing show named One Day. And it really goes into your soul. And what it does is it just fucks you up. And so we thought we should talk about romantic comedies and why we love them and why they may be a little confusing
and horrible to your soul, to your heart, to your life, and toxic and painful.
But that we love them too.
You know, I think though, knowing that it's gonna be a sad movie or a sad show and continuing to watch it, I think you have to be a specific kind of crazy. That's me. Sometimes I have shows and movies that I have put aside in my life that I know, if I need to cry it out, I'll go watch. One Day has joined that list.
Would you watch it again?
Yes.
See, I would never.
Why? Because it wrecked you so much?
It's just too much.
Yeah.
I think it emotions.
Emotionally wrecked you more than it emotionally wrecked me.
Yeah. Yeah, because every conversation I was having with everyone I knew was just, can you believe One Day? And sometimes people wouldn't even respond, and I'd just be like, okay, I'm going to continue this conversation because I feel like I need to talk about it.
I think everybody needs to watch it.
I don't feel like guys would really... I was talking to my brother about it, and I was like, oh, did you start watching it? And he's like, yeah, I started, and it's not my thing. But when you start watching it, it is not, the best. It takes time to, lead up to where it got to the parts where, it just, fucks you up. But the lead up is really nice.
I didn't really understand what was happening at the beginning. So for me to get to the part of I think it was the third or fourth episode is when I understood this is also we might be giving spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, watch it and then come back and listen to this. But until the third episode, I didn't realize or understand that it was the same day every year. I didn't get it. I saw it on the screen, but I didn't understand that was what was happening. That was the theme of the whole show. Right. There is a movie with Anne Hathaway in it with the same concept, but I had never heard of that movie before, so it was just not something that I like knew that was going to be the concept of the show. But like that itself is like insane. And it's so wild to think about.
Yeah.
Like the growth of a person in a year and how much can happen to a person in a year or two. Like you can literally see it in the show. Like it's insane.
Yeah. And the downfalls too. Like that you see
Dex.
every year. Dex, our boy, was going through stuff.
Like
Just
fucking Dex.
throughout.
Like I just wanted to give him a hug, man.
Yeah. The show, I don't know, we're not going to go into details about it, but I think it shows you know what it is? It's very realistic.
So that's the thing.
Yeah.
There was another show I feel like we recently watched which had like a not happy ending, and it was a rom-com. Do you remember what it was? Or a movie? And I cannot put my finger on like what it was exactly. And I think that's one thing I do like about the rom-coms now is that they're getting a little bit more realistic. Like the end isn't always happy, whereas in all the like classic rom-coms the end was like sad but usually happy, like something good would come out of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This one was too real. It was way too real.
It was way too real. I was not, bro, I was like on my first day of my period when I watched the last 2 episodes.
Oh my god.
I was so happy in the second last.
Why?
No, was it second last? Or
Happy about what? Oh, that
no,
thing.
3 episodes I think I watched that day. And I was just so happy because they were finally together, and I was so happy, and I was like, this is what I want right now. I just want happiness. And then it just attacks you.
I
out
didn't
of
believe she
nowhere.
was dead.
No, me neither. Because once it's done, you're like, no, there's no way. This is supposed to be happy. Like this is
Not only that was one thing I had like a con about that show is like it just happened and it was just over. Like it was just like
but
there was
isn't
no
that what life is? Though?
Yeah, but like I needed more than that.
Why didn't they show the hospital?
Yeah, or like her like I couldn't process that she was riding a fucking bike. Like it wasn't like she was in a car and it like fucking mangled her. Even when she got hit, she didn't fly like to another world. It was just, it felt like, you know what I mean? Like she wasn't like wrecked. It wasn't on a highway. Like it just felt so like a minor like
just a little bump.
Yeah. And then, or like she would like break a leg or something. Like no, that wasn't nice. Like either go hard and take it home so that I could cry about it for days. Don't make it that realistic. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Are you going to read the book? Would you ever?
No.
Yeah. No. I don't think I could
I think a book just is something different. Like it puts you get into that world so much that it's like very hard to recover from. And I've like read books that like do that, and I just can't.
I don't think I can either.
No. This show fucked me up so much that I'm never going to watch the movie. I can't watch the show again. Yeah. And I can't like reading the book is like out of the question.
Yeah. So watched the movie and she was like how Anne Hathaway, it was a good movie, but like Anne Hathaway has a British accent in the movie and it's like kind of put on like it did, because she obviously doesn't have a British accent, and she's like the movie wasn't as good as the show. So that to me is a little reassuring to watch the movie, because I know it won't wreck me as hard, you know, but it's like still a good movie because you know it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
No.
I just love that Emma was also brown.
Me too. I think the casting was incredible.
Wow. And they were like, they weren't big or anything. Like even Dexter, which I can't think of his actual name.
I know.
It's fine. His name is Dexter.
Noah. No, not Noah. It's something like a 4-letter name. Theo.
No.
Yeah, it is. It is. His
name is Theo?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Leo was in White Lotus. And so that's what, but even White Lotus, like they were filming White Lotus while he was doing this.
I had
Also,
no
I
idea.
always think about this actors when they have to play such different roles, because
Characters.
in White Lotus, it's such a different character
Yeah.
than who he was in this.
Yeah.
And same person, everything, like, you know, same person as in actor,
Yeah,
but then
human.
such different roles. And like, I wonder how they do that, because you have to invest so much for you to be as believable as you are as that character, and then like just go into another role and you have to be so good at that too. But anyways, what I was trying to say is they weren't like big actors. I don't know if Anne Hathaway and Jude Law, I think it was,
No, it was a random guy. Well, he wasn't random, but like...
what, okay, not
Yeah.
a big actor, but
Yeah.
I don't know if they were very famous at the time or anything.
because she was really young.
I think she, yeah. And like, I think like it's
Jim
just,
Sturgis.
oh, I was not close. What did I say? Jude Law? Shit. She, he just has a rom-com.
Yeah, he does. But he's also like what's the word? Like a mysterious, like...
Jude Law?
Yeah, right?
No.
I think I have a different face and you have a different face. We have a different people attached to it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But anyways, I really enjoyed that they weren't like big actors or
Yeah.
anything, and they were just really talented people, and we obviously saw him in those more like very difficult moments, and he played
Yeah.
that so well. And she's such a good actress as well, because she comes from a comedic background and stuff, and it just showed.
Yeah. I think, like, this was a good movie for... I think a lot of people... Let me phrase that. I think a lot of brown girls probably felt very connected to this movie specifically, too, just because of, like, her and just because of him, too. Because it's very easy to look at, like, a pretty boy and, like, look at... Like, because at the end of the day, she's not, like, the stereotypical, like, beautiful whatever. And I think as the show went on, too, like, they made her more beautiful. Like, she was, like, this... But that's how life is, right? Like,
Yeah.
when you're younger, you're a little bit, like, quirkier. You're not as whatever. And then as time goes on, like, you become more sophisticated and more, like, you fall into your style a little bit more. But I think it was, like, such a good movie for, like... brown girls, like, for us to, like, feel, I don't know, it's very interesting. But the fucking Grease water scene where they're, like, swimming in the water and they're like, oh my god, I wanted to hit him across the head, smack his face, fucking fuck. But
even with
That's
that,
how-
it was so realistic.
Yeah.
right? Like, that's how you would try to protect yourself, by
Yeah.
just saying whatever.
yeah,
And like,
I know.
their
It's
story
crazy.
it's so crazy, because I don't know if it's a quote in the trailer, and she's like, isn't it crazy that like you meet like something about like you'll meet someone and you never understand like how this one person can like affect your entire life. And isn't that so true about like life in general? If in that movie or show, in the show, if they never actually met each other, their life would have been so different.
And it could have been good, it could have been bad. Like, it
Yeah.
would have changed completely. I agree.
And that's like life. Like, if you
Yeah.
didn't meet the friends that you've made, like if you didn't meet
Insane.
like your friggin' like partner and stuff, like, oh no, my sock, where's the other side? Sorry.
They can't see it.
No, I know, but I don't like that. Okay, we'll fix now. But
Yeah.
it's so crazy, and I just love that the show was very realistic, but I also didn't love it.
Yeah. It
In
was
the
too
end.
it was too realistic.
Yeah, like, we don't have to be that real, guys. Like, let's...
No.
I just really thought it was going to be a happy ending. Like, I had no contact. Like, I didn't see anything on social media or anything to
Neither
suggest
did I,
that it
yeah.
was, like, sad. Like,
But
now
because
people
we
know
watched
it is.
so early
Yeah.
on too that the spoilers hadn't come out. I also think like another thing was that usually when you watch a rom-com, it's like something like they don't like each other, then something good really happens, and then something bad happens, and then something good happens again. Like they come back from it, right? But then with this show, it was all bad. Not bad, but like it was like not great, right? Like they loved each other, but like it kept going back to we love each other as friends. It's not like whatever, or she was getting shut down, or he was getting shut down, and he was just dealing with so much shit. So it was like all bad, and then it finally got good where I was like, okay, that's the trajectory of the show. That's where they're going to end it. How are you going to do bad, 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 good, and then go bad? Like, that's ridiculous.
But I don't think it was bad, though. Like, in the beginning, I don't think it was bad.
I think they both had really bad parts of their life. Like, especially Dex. Like, the shit that this man went through was all bad.
No, I'm talking from their relationship. Like, I don't think it was bad. Like, I know they had that fight or whatever, right?
I think it was for her throughout the whole thing, she loved him. Like, she truly did love him, and she had this huge crush on him. And she just, I think, just never felt enough. And that was the case of everything. And that's why they had their huge fight, was just because, like, I felt like she, which is true, she always felt like she was just there for him, and it was just never reciprocated. But to be fair, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was. I think he knew everything that was going on in her life.
Yeah.
Like, he was.
And he kept up.
And he even to encourage her with writing and stuff. Like, he was hard on her in a good way. Like, that's the person you want in your life. That's going to be like, this is what you wanted to do. Like, what happened?
And he did things that he was also not used to doing. Like, the writing letters and just having one constant. And, like, always coming back to her. Like, I don't think he ever dropped her. I just think that what she expected of him, he couldn't give her. And so to her, that was not fulfilling. And I know, like, not that I know, like, that's so dramatic. I don't know that feeling, but I know that, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, you can expect something of somebody and you get something in return, but that doesn't necessarily mean that what they're doing is incorrect, but it just might not meet your expectations, so you're going to be hurt in that process. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why she was hurt so much and he was fine.
Not us trying to, like,
verify.
Deep dive. This is what their characters really wanted.
But it's just...
Yeah. The show does make you, like, think of all of that. And it's just such a good show, man. It is very real. And... like, it just is life. Talk about.
So this is like... Okay, well, so that's something... That's something we were talking about earlier, is, like, before, rom-coms were never like that. It wasn't very realistic. It wasn't like, it wasn't what life really is. It was always a happy ending. It was always like this guy chasing this girl around, and it was this huge thing. If you really think about it, that's very stalkery. It's a little bit stalkery, right? Like, where he's so persistent, where he's like, I just want to be with you, and this is life, and this is everything. And I also think it's like, okay, so one movie that I love with my whole heart is My Best Friend's Wedding. Have you watched it? I don't think you have, right?
Was that the Kate?
It's a Julia Roberts. I think that's who it is.
I don't know.
So it's basically these two. I don't really remember all of it, but it was one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite rom-coms. It's basically this couple, or they're not a couple. They're friends, and they love each other, right? And at the end of it, spoiler, they fall in love, they get married, whatever. And the whole thing is that she's going over to his wedding and she's like being the best man or whatever and like helping him get married and like get through that. But they love each other. They're like so in love, just right person, wrong time kind of situation, and they end up being together. So yes, it's a happy ending, but if you really think about it, the amount of lives that they destroyed in that process of like ending up together is kind of crazy, right? Whereas I think now they're being so much more realistic with like shit happens and showing that shit happens. Do you agree?
But couldn't that also happen in real life?
It could happen in real life, but they were romanticizing it so much in the sense of like
everything was
fine. Yeah. Everyone ended up happy at the end, and it's like all fine. Yeah. And it is for the two people in love, but like you've just ruined 20,000 lives beforehand.
Yeah.
You know? And everything's not funny. Like,
it's not funny, okay? Take it seriously. There's feelings involved.
Facts, though. Yeah. This man is about to get married, for God's sake, and, like, we're just, you know?
Yeah. Just acting like...
It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted them to be together, so I get it. But, like, it's just different. It's very different.
But I would think even in real life, I think a lot of people... Okay, let's say they didn't get married.
Yeah.
Again, why are we doing a deep dive? Let's say they didn't get married. Mm-hmm. And then, like, he just got married to the girl. but technically he always loved his best friend or whatever, and then they just continued life like that.
Yeah.
At some point, some shit would happen anyways.
Yeah.
Unless they just never. And I think about that sometimes, where I feel like sometimes people are so comfortable with where they're at that you don't want to get out of that. And actually, like, you might be missing out on so much. But, like, you're so stuck in your ways, and you're so stuck with the person that you married. So now you have to stay with this one person. But what if you find someone else now? And then, like, or you've known this person for so long, like in this movie. And then now you're just like, well, it is what it is. Like, that's life. Like, I feel like that happens in real life. We just don't know these stories.
So, say, God forbid, but say, for example, you were put in a situation where you found out that your partner had, like, a best friend that they were, like, so close with, and at some point they had whatever. They had fallen in love or whatever, but, like, they're not together, right? Would you expect your partner not to invite this person to their wedding? Or, like, be a big, significant part of your wedding?
Wait, they are in love, or they were? Like, they had a history?
They had a history. Obviously, he's at the end.
Then it's a whole different story. Then it's like, shit.
We shouldn't even get married.
Yeah, if he had history with someone, I don't think I would. No, it might make me uncomfortable, but I think that's something I would have to get over before the marriage stuff even were to happen. Like, it's unfair for me to be the person that says you are not allowed to call this person that's been part of your life for so long to our wedding when this is supposed to be the happiest time of both of our lives. So it wouldn't be fair.
Right. So then that is realistic that she was invited. So I guess it is realistic. But
of course, there's there's ways to do certain things, but I think, like, life also doesn't pan out that way. Like, sometimes you're just happy, and they just didn't show the other side of it, where the other people did, like, but why are they going to show that in a rom-com, right? They're not going to show the other side of it where the girl's, like, pissed and, like,
but I think she ended up being with, like, somebody else.
Oh.
I think that's what happened in the old rom-coms, where they used to just, like, make it so that everybody was happy in the end. It was just like, oh, no, but she fell in love with this guy or her best friend, like, whatever. And it just all worked out. I think that's what it was. But
you know what? Also, people love the chase.
Oh, yeah.
So because of that, because we see it so much in movies and shows and stuff, like, you love I love...
Yeah.
Once they are actually together, I really have, like, lost interest in them. At that point, I'm like, well, it's done now.
Yeah.
Like, what else is there to watch? But the chase also then becomes an issue in our real lives, because then you think you have to keep chasing, or the person that you're with, even, let's say you're already in a relationship and you feel like, well, now we're good, like, we're actually happy, but then
it's boring.
And, like, unless you've actually worked on yourself and actually just accepted that, like, love is not about the chase, and it's about just being at peace and working on life together, you get so trapped with that chase, and you're like, ooh, the highs and the lows, and that's normal. Every relationship's hard, and that's just what it is. And I think movies and shows have also taught that to us in a lot of ways too.
Is there something that you used to watch in, like, rom-coms that before you were in a healthy relationship, that you, like, wanted, that you were like, I want him to do XYZ, or, like, you had, like, unrealistic expectations of?
I'm
trying to think, because there has to be something. For me, 100%. I was, like, a rom-com snob. Yeah. Like, I was so in love with love.
I think my idea of love was very wary. It was wary. It was wary, though.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking while you're saying it.
It was very flawed in the way of, I thought love is... well, they're just going to know exactly what I'm thinking and feeling at all times, and my soulmate is going to know that.
And if he doesn't, it's bad.
And then that's, like, horrible, because then you don't know me as a person, and you clearly don't love me. But then realizing that you actually need to communicate.
Use your words.
Speak up. And say what it is that you require. There's certain things, though, like, hopefully these conversations will then make that person more aware that, oh, this situation happens and this is how this makes her feel, and that's why I'm going to try to work at it, and, like, over time maybe you'll see a difference. But after a bit too, like, I think you still have to continue to communicate that stuff, right? And even if it might seem like, oh, like I don't want to continue having this conversation, but you do need to continue having this conversation. So I think my unrealistic expectation was that like they would just know.
Yeah.
And they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to think of all these, like, you know, it's always, you need to have these big, grand gestures to, like, make sure and confirm that you were in love. Like, for example, like, there needs to be a big defining fight where he's, like, you run to the airport and you're flying and he's, like, running to the airport, chasing after you and be like, don't leave, I love you. Like, I was, like, always, when I was young, I was like, if that's not there, there's no passion. Like, there's no, like, that... There isn't, like, you're not fighting for, if you're not fighting for anything, there's nothing worth fighting for kind of thing. And when you grow up, you kind of notice that, like, it was all toxic before then. In these, like, kind of rom-coms where he's chasing, she's chasing, whatever, like, there's a lot of toxic behaviors and a lot of toxic, like, where neither of them are being healthy in their relationship. That's why one person is leaving. And these grand gestures of them like noticing, oh my god, I need to be a better partner for my person, and that's why they happen. But if you have healthiness from the beginning, you're not gonna have those huge, like, crazy fights. You're not gonna have that defining thing where you think that you need to leave, or, you know, what, like, that kind of stuff. So that was really interesting, like, growing up, like, trying to process that. Yeah, it's fun though. It's fun being on the healthier side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, but also if you come from a place where you're not used to it, it can be very challenging. And I think your partner brings out those sides of you that maybe you didn't even know existed. And so I think being in a healthy relationship just has taught me that too. And it's just, I have to kind of like, I mean, there were different parts to it. Like I had therapy and stuff before. So like I was able to, you know, ask myself questions and stuff like that before I like bring something up. Like, is this being too much? Is this a me problem or is this an us problem, you know? Right. And I think having those thoughts beforehand just help you kind of have conversations rather than yell and stuff. But I think something else that movies and shows probably pushed so much was that once you get married, like everything will be fine. Because you never see what happens after, right? And even if you do, it still looks like, well, when then you have kids and then like your whole life is about the kids, and then after you have kids then they grow up, and then this is the life that you're supposed to live. But I don't think that's realistic anymore, and I don't think it's ever been realistic. I think the idea that, like, you know, being brown too, like one of the main questions you get asked is, when are you getting married? You know, just acting as if a marriage makes or breaks your life is insane. And I think I used to think, well, end goal is marriage, you know, and that's not the end goal. Like, it's keeping up that relationship. If you choose to get married, you don't have to get married. If you don't want to get married, you could be in a common law partnership or whatever it is. But like, I think the idea of getting married and then, well, this is and the kids, and then like, we're gonna have our moments where it's gonna be tough, but eventually we're gonna be really happy. But like, it's perfect. Not like that. And it is that before you get married, you have to get your life together. Like for me, I want to get married. So like, if I want to get married now, like, am I ready to be a wife? Am I ready to have a husband? Am I ready to live with a person forever, you know, and go through life with this person and stuff? And there's so much more to it, right? Like, there's chores. Yeah. That's not fun. And that's not what you're going to see in a show or a movie, because it's not fun. In a show or movie, it's also exaggerated. Like you said, and like everything is so big. Like there's no like, oh, I'm just going to eat at this, like,
but they can't also fit all of that in an hour and a half or whatever the case may be, right? So like they can only do what is helpful to their story and their storyline, so they're not going to show you all those extra things that are like mundane and whatever. And there are stories like I think This Is 40 is what it's called or something, where like there are stories like that, but those are not what are sold to like little girls when we're like living our best, like we're trying to find a partner or like sold to like the perfect love story, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? Every love story that I'm looking at our list, like they're all very realistic. Like when we like, so we wrote a list down of our like favorite like rom-coms that we like love and we like we'll probably watch again and again and again. And they're all so realistic. Like the first one is Crazy Stupid Love.
Yeah.
That one's so fucking
realistic.
funny and
Yeah.
so realistic.
What's not realistic though is that Ryan Gosling is now just like helping this guy like, out of nowhere. Like I don't think they even have a.
No, there is, because his he got a divorce with his wife.
No, I know, but why is Ryan Gosling helping him?
They met at a bar, so it's like his like he sees him and he's like
He feels bad.
Yeah,
for him.
he feels
Right.
bad for him. But
Okay.
no, the unrealistic part is he just randomly falls in love with his like this
Daughter.
girl.
Yeah.
But he's been like so like. He's been like such a like a guy's guy this whole time that randomly he just fell in love with a girl.
I think that's also oversold. The idea
Oh,
that like
yes.
a bad boy, you know, you can fix him.
Or
Oh
just
my
like people
God.
can be fixed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's just like if you love somebody enough, like you can fix them.
Yeah.
Or like love is all you need. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Life is life in guys.
Yeah.
It is not all we need.
Not enough.
Not
Because
enough
when
at all.
life hurts, it hurts
Yeah.
no matter what. And yeah, you need a lot more. I think in Crazy Stupid Love, I believe the older couple in it, that was very realistic. I think that's what was
Steve
realistic
Carell
about
and-
it.
yeah.
Steve Carell and I don't know who the
I can't
lady
remember
is.
her name.
But that was very realistic. They're basically getting a divorce and all that stuff. To him, it was like out of nowhere. And to
Yeah.
her, she was just sick of having the same
Yeah.
life of like nothing really happening. And I feel like that's something we will have to deal with at certain points in our lives.
Yeah.
And even like when we're younger, I think it's very easy to think about like, no, like we're always gonna find something
Yeah.
to do. But realistically, when life happens, you don't have that much time, and then
And you have
get
kids,
used,
yeah.
and then you get used to not doing that much.
Right,
Like
yeah.
I see that even with my parents.
Yeah.
Like they get very used to like not doing that much, and then when
Yeah.
they're used to not doing that much, it's not normal for them to go out of their way to now like do something, you know. And so it's very realistic in that way. But yeah.
Even the kids, like the babysitter falling in love with the dad, but then the son's in
Oh
love with the
gosh.
babysitter. Just like stupid young shit. Like that was such a realistic movie and it was so funny. Like realistic, obviously all of it is exaggerated and like it's exaggerated for comedic relief. But like if you really sit down and you break it apart, it's life. Like a lot of it is just life and like how shit happens and whatever. But there was that. Then we had Friends with Benefits. That one's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you believe that friends with benefits can exist?
Oh no.
I think it can to a certain extent.
I just think like one person will always, there's always going to be something there. Like I don't think you can be, I don't know. I don't think you could be friends with benefits.
I think you can if like you're not super duper close where you don't like have that like emotional connection with them or like that deep friendship with them. But I think like there needs to be a hard cutoff. Like I think you need to be able to be like, this is like you can't do it for like 10 years. That I don't think will work because then that person becomes your comfort person.
When I think about friends and benefits, the only way that I can think of it actually working is that like if both people have someone else that they actually have feelings for,
Yeah.
and then they're just coming to each other.
But that's
for
kind
the
of
thing.
weird though, right? Like
But it is what it is.
Yeah,
Like
it
you're
is
not
what
always
it
gonna
is.
end up with the person that you're gonna like and stuff. So you just need someone to like.
oh, yikes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so. Okay, that was the other one. Then we had My Best Friend's Wedding, which is done. One Day, which is done. Yeh Jawaani Hai Deewani. Oh my god. That movie, guys.
I've watched it so many times. I can't
have
even
too.
remember how many times.
Oh my gosh.
It's a really, really. It's a great movie.
It's a beautiful movie.
There's just so many different aspects to it, though. It's not
Yeah.
just a romantic movie. It's like
Life.
there's the aspect of like him. I know we keep saying that. It's realistic. It's life. No, but I think like in a lot of ways, it's about like doing what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's about like being spontaneous and getting out of your comfort zone. And then you meet the best people And then like life goes on, and you know that you can't be with certain people because right person, wrong time thing, whatever it is, right? And like it's such a heartwarming movie because it's also about friendship.
I was just gonna say it's also about friendship. It's also about like you can't. It's so evident on there are some people who are meant for you, and there are some people who are like good for you, and there are some people who you can love so passionately but they're not good for you. Like the guy who was like drinking and gambling or whatever, and then Aditi is the girl, right?
Yeah.
The one who got married.
Yeah,
Her, and like the sweet guy who would just fucking do everything for her. Like I feel like they would have, if it was up to him, they would have been together, right? Like him and Aditi. But like she saw what was like what she was like, what was meant for her, and she saw like this guy like really loved her, and she loved him too, but it's just different. Like sometimes you need to step aside and like move back and say, even if you love somebody and you've had so much history with them, you need the person who like will do anything and give anything and be everything for you,
and they have the capacity to do that. Yeah, like exactly. Not everybody, they may want to do certain things, but they don't have the capacity in that moment of their life. Yeah. And like the main storyline for whoever hasn't watched that movie, it's about these 4 friends. And 3 of them already knew each other, and then this other girl basically comes.
She went to school with them before.
She went to school, so like they kind of knew of each other and stuff, and then they went on this trip, and it's very spontaneous for her. She's like this nerdy girl, and then she goes on this
something like this, like
never
ever.
at all. But then she was just so bored with her life, and then she's like, I'm gonna go on this trip, and she goes on this trip, and she has the best time of her life, and she takes off her glasses, and she becomes a model. Of course, that had to be there. And then like there's an attraction between her and another guy, but there's also 2 other friends, and that's also a girl and a guy, and that's who she was talking about. The guy was probably not the best choice for her, but she loved him like so much. She would do anything
and
for
he
him.
loved her too. Like he truly, same One Day vibes, I think. Like he loved her too. He
They
just
should
didn't
make a One Day movie just out of that.
a spin-off. No, but
Can
truly.
we pitch that to someone?
To him?
Netflix?
I don't think they'd want another one of them again.
No, Aditi and Thing. And then we get Aditi and Adi.
Adi. Was that his name, Adi?
I don't know.
Well, his real name is Aditya.
Oh.
So maybe that's where you got it from. No, but yeah, like he had so many things wrong with him. He was not wrong with him, sorry, that's the wrong way. He had so many things going on in his life. He didn't have, like, they weren't very rich, and the rest of them were all rich. So I think he had his own like demons that he was dealing with, and all the way up until she got married, like it was a thing that he had to deal with and like had to run through. He had like business problems, all that kind of stuff. So he didn't have the capacity to be there for her that way, and she needed to just let go. And they show you that, and like
so that's very realistic as well, I guess.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. Like everything on our list is so realistic. Oh, actually, the last one isn't.
What is that?
How to Lose a Guy in 10 days.
Oh.
Or 10 days, right?
I don't even... but I don't remember the...
How do you not remember?
Did you watch... wait. The fuck? We have to include this as well.
What?
Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na. So it's Imran Khan.
Yes, but I don't remember much about that movie.
The friendship one. They were like friends when they were younger and stuff.
Yeah. I don't remember the movie though.
Yeah.
I remember Janelia was her name?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember the actual movie.
That was a great movie too.
Oh, the other one we were talking... Bro.
Yeah, that's...
I've been doing this. I realize now I've been pointing with this hand, so I'll just be like... but no, the other one we were talking about, Jab We Met.
That was a good one.
Oh, Aashiqui!
Yeah.
What a good rom-com!
That was a good... No, but that's also sad.
Oh, there's no comedy. Yeah.
No, that's just rom.
Drama.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That was a good movie. That wrecked me too.
Aashiqui was very sad. Aashiqui 2 was very, very sad. And they did a really good job with that movie.
They both did such a good
I
job.
do think she's a good actress.
She
I
is.
just don't think she's given opportunities where she can show her acting skills. Mm-hmm. After Aashiqui 2, like, I don't remember too many of her movies. And I feel like when I can't remember movies, that means that maybe you don't have the greatest roles or whatever. And I don't think that's really, like, a her issue. I think it's also... women roles in Bollywood are not usually very challenging. And if you are one of those actresses that get those challenging roles, you've been in the industry for some time.
You're like, you stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
You always get
Interesting
classified, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, so she can only play these kind of roles.
You know which one I really love with Rani Mukherjee and,
Kuch Kuch Hota Hai?
no.
Oh.
It's not a popular movie. It's like about kids and stuff. Like she.
Da 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 bum bum bum.
Yeah, that one. Is that what it's called? No, I don't think so. But that movie, you know what I'm talking about. It has like an interesting, yeah. That was a good movie. It was just like sweet and family blended.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. Anyways, whatever. If you like rom-coms,
Do you remember Salaam Namaste?
Salaam Namaste. I don't remember the movie.
That was a rom-com.
Was that?
Yeah, and it was very...
With Preeti Zinta, right?
Yeah.
And Saif Ali Khan. Yes. Yes. This is a completely opposite. Have you watched the new documentary on Netflix about that Adnan Oh, it's so crazy. It's called it's real. It's called
the documentary.
The Indrani Mukherjee story, Buried Truth.
No.
Oh,
I have seen
my
it on... Yeah.
gosh. You need to watch it.
Really?
It's so weird. It's so weird.
Is that the one where the niece is talking about someone?
Well, it's not the
Her
niece.
aunt?
Well, it's... The whole thing is that they accuse her of murdering her... I'm not going to ruin anything. Her sister. It's crazy. And it's so wild because my parents... And it's so recent. It's like 2012, 2014, kind of. So, like, it's so interesting. And she's... I'm not going to tell... Actually, I'm not going to ruin it. But my parents, like, remember the case, like, playing out in real life. Damn. And, like, watching it back is kind of insane. But, yeah, you guys should watch that, too. It's so messed up. And it's, like, in English, so you can watch it. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any other. If you like rom-coms and I hope you haven't watched some of these movies, because to live watching some of these movies and shows for the first time is like a dream.
Yeah, it is.
Can you imagine watching One Day all over again?
No. I'm not doing that.
So I will watch it again and soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's such a good show.
It's so good.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, watch it. Watch Crazy Stupid Love, Friends with Benefits, My Best Friend's Wedding, One Day, Yeh Jawaani Hai Deewani with subtitles if you don't know Hindi, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, Aashiqui 2 with subtitles if you don't know Hindi.
Aashiqui 2 is not a rom-com though.
It's not rom-com,
it's just
but
a
it's like
drum, like
yeah,
you said.
it's sad, but it'll make you happy. Well, this is not
it's
a
like
rom-com.
Notebook.
One Day is not a rom-com.
It is though. It's a com.
It's not.
No, it is. They have funny jokes.
Well, she's funny. Like, there's one
and
funny
he's
character.
funny too. Did you see how he progressed in comedy? Like, he got better, and you're like, oh, it's because of her.
Yeah.
That's so life too.
Yeah. Aww.
Okay, you should watch also Kal Ho Naa Ho and get sad at the end, but that's okay. And then you should watch Tu Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na.
Jab We Met is a good one too.
Jab We
That was
Met
funny.
is good. Oh, He's Just Not That Into You.
Oh, I haven't watched that one either, but
You
I should.
You're gonna
watch
love
that.
it. You're gonna love it.
Any Jennifer Aniston ones are always good too, rom-com wise.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of really good ones. Ria's probably watching this. One of my best friends probably watching this, if she is, and being like hitting the screen and telling me to mention 20,000 more because we're the rom-com people. We go back and forth with these kind of stuff.
Okay.
Oh, Fault in Our Stars if you want to cry.
No, see, you just... Like,
just
the calm
saying.
is missing.
But if you love, you want to watch these things, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think because I love, I don't want to watch them too. Does that make sense? I'd rather watch rom-com and think everything is happy because life is already lifing. So I'd rather just watch funniness and acting as if like life just works out, which it does, but then it also doesn't. So I'd rather just, when I'm watching a movie, I don't want to think, oh, fuck life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in the rom-com mood. Like, I don't want to cry now.
Yeah.
Oh
but
God.
there are moods.
I keep remembering one day. And just...
There are moods, though. Like, I don't think if you are not mentally stable, you should watch One Day. And if you love and you're not mentally stable, maybe don't. But there are moods that you just want to sit down and just watch a fucking crying movie, and I think I mentioned those as well. They're so worth watching. And sometimes, let me tell you, sometimes it's important. No, but sometimes it's important in those moods where you want to cry to watch a good, happy rom-com. So use this list, write it down, and just do what you need to in that
10
moment.
Things About You is 10 Things I Hate About You is also
good.
a very cute movie. It's about like high school love.
Oh, you know what else?
Why'd you say it like that? Why are you mocking me?
No.
You know what else?
That was really genuine, though. I don't know why you thought it was mocking. But To All the Boys I've Ever Loved is so cheesy and so bad, but it's so
movie,
good.
sorry.
Yeah, so watch that too if you haven't watched it already.
Yeah.
But if you can't tell, we love and we love you, and we're appreciative of you being here. So thank you for sitting here and watching and listening to all our crazy rants about Dex and M.
Yeah, we're so sorry. There was a lot of context not given with a lot of, like, with One Day, I think we gave a lot of context.
Yeah.
But with other ones, we might have not given enough context.
But that gives you more reason to, like, watch them.
Yeah. So then stop the podcast. Go watch the movie.
Pause it.
Oh, sorry. Pause. Keep your screen open. Okay. Yes. And then go watch the movie or show. Come back. Let's talk about it. Now, when we move on to another one that you haven't watched, do the same thing.
Yeah.
Where you're going to pause, keep your screen open, go back to the movie, or go to the movie, and then come back to us. And just keep doing this until you've gone through all of them.
We'll try.
And we're not mentioning a lot of them.
Yeah, we're not. No. We'll try if we're capable to put in timestamps after we edit. And what we'll also try to do, I think, we should put a list of our favorite movies in the description. Yeah. So you have a list to watch. Because I know after all this is done, I'll be like sleeping, going to bed. I'll be like, I forgot to mention this one. And it's like probably Unreal and the best. So, and maybe we'll even, okay, I'm putting a lot on our plate, but maybe we'll even categorize like, oh, like, this is a happy movie to watch this when you're ready to, like, in the description? Yeah. And then the crying movies, like, these are the crying movies.
Yeah. Also, give us
oh my God, recommendations.
Yeah. Tell us what to watch, whether we're gonna cry or be happy. Just,
Thank you for being on this roller coaster. I hope you enjoy your roller coasters when you watch this movie. Follow us on everything, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you later. Goodbye.
Bang, bang. Bye.